Christian dating coach, and I help women of faith attract their husbands. So today I want to talk about the Wife in Waiting program. This is my group coaching program that shows you how to date to attract 3 quality men in the next 3 months. And this process is what I've used to help my clients connect with quality men, go on dates, meet men that they've entered into relationships with, got engaged and stepped into marriage with. If you're interested in working with me in Wife in Waiting, make sure you apply via the link in my bio. We're currently open, and if you apply before the end of this week, you also get access to my dating checklist, which shows you exactly what to look out for from where you currently are in your dating process. Okay, so I want to talk about how, and guys, as always, if you see me looking off screen, I'm just looking at my notes. I want to talk about how the Wife in Waiting program helps you to meet men that match your values. So this is for you if you're struggling with meeting men that match your values, obviously, and you're meeting men that it's difficult for you to have sustainable connections with. You're struggling to meet men that you can actually have relationships with. You're struggling to see men you do find attractive. You find that the men that you do find interesting are not interested in you, or you get ghosted, you get taken advantage of, your conversations fizzle out, it never actually materializes for you to enter into a relationship, then definitely make sure that you're watching this. Now, the first way we tackle this inside my program in Wife in Waiting is we look at where you are, okay? So you need to come into contact with men. There are only 3 reasons why you're still single. It's either you are not coming into contact with enough men, or you don't know how to build connections with men, or you struggle with commitment. It's at least one of those reasons. Usually 2, but you will notice a predominant issue with one. Maybe you're just not meeting enough men. Maybe you feel like there are no men in your location. Maybe you feel you never actually meet single eligible men. Maybe you feel like you're constantly struggling to come in contact with men that share your values. That is a problem that we need to solve inside the Wife in Waiting program, and how we do it is we work on your profile. Your profile is basically how people perceive you. So what's your profile looking like online and offline? In other words, what is your digital footprint and what is your physical footprint? How are you making yourself visible? How are you making yourself available to be approached? What are the steps you're taking to make sure that it is easy to come in contact with men? How are you making it a simple process for you to be meeting men on a regular basis? That is the first place we look at inside Wife in Waiting, and how I help you do this is online. I show you how to set up your dating profile using our recommended dating apps, and also using my recommended process that has helped my clients to consistently come in contact with quality men. And I also help you to set up how you're showing up offline. This means, how are you showing up in your daily routine? How are you habitually coming into contact with people? We optimize that inside Wife in Waiting to make sure that coming into contact with men is not a problem. And this works for you even if you have a demanding career, you're struggling to come in contact with men, you don't know exactly what you're doing wrong, where you need to focus on. It doesn't matter. This is exactly why in Wife in Waiting we show you how to set up the dating profile online using our recommended process, because you may say, oh, I've tried the dating apps, they don't work for me. You're doing it wrong. I can confidently tell you that, because at least for the past 5 years, I've helped my clients to meet men online. I even have clients that have met their spouses online. I've helped my clients to meet men offline, to meet men in their daily routines. And these are women with demanding schedules like yourself. These are women that are dating with standards like yourself. These are women that are not available to get their time wasted. So whatever your situation is, doesn't matter if you're a single mom, you're divorced, you've never been in a relationship before, it doesn't matter. We set up your profile inside Wife in Waiting to make sure that you're coming into easy access, you're easily available, so to speak, and approachable to the quality and caliber of man you want on a regular basis. And we also help you maximize how you're showing up offline, because the truth is, we don't know how you're going to meet your person. I don't know if it's going to be through a dating app, or it's going to be at an event, or it's through a friend or a family member, or walking down the street. I have no idea. And no one can tell you how I didn't know how my clients met their spouses. I didn't know how they met their partners, how they met their boyfriends. But what I did know was how to make sure they were available for those connections, how to make sure they were available to come in contact with the quality of men they want. And this is what I show you how to do inside the Wife in Waiting program, so that you are coming into constant contact with men. That should not be your problem. Okay, so if that's a problem, that definitely should not be your problem. You shouldn't be having issues with meeting men. Literally, they're the other half of the human race. There are women and there are men. They're the other half of the human race, so there are men everywhere. So it shouldn't be a problem to come in contact with single eligible men. And the way we build your profile in the Wife in Waiting program is I show you my recommended process that has worked for my clients to be able to connect with men online, and I show you my recommended steps to be able to connect with men offline, so that even if you don't want to do the apps, maybe you're not the type that wants to go online dating, you just want to meet men in your day-to-day routine, you just want to come in contact with quality men, just going about your business, no problem. We help you set that up inside Wife in Waiting as well. And this way you are coming into contact with men, because look at it as a numerical issue. The more men you come in contact with, the higher the likelihood you will come in contact with quality men. But if you're not coming in contact with any men, you can't come in contact with men that are of quality, because you need men to balance out that equation. So what we want to eliminate inside the Wife in Waiting program is that problem whereby you're just not coming in contact with men at all. And as soon as you join our program, as soon as you get started with my recommended dating process that I outline for you inside my dating curriculum, you will know how to do this. We've had clients come within the first month of being a Wife in Waiting client and being a Wife in Waiting sister, as we call ourselves. They're coming into contact with men online. They're meeting men offline. That isn't the focus of the program, because it's so easy. It's such a simple thing to fix. That is not the focus of Wife in Waiting. So within the first few weeks, and that is me stretching it, of coming into contact, of joining the Wife in Waiting program, you will be coming into contact with men. That isn't the main focus of the program. Because it's very simple to fix. The main focus is me showing you how to come into contact with men you can connect with and build sustainable relationships with. This is why it is called Wife in Waiting, because I want to show you how to date like a woman that is desiring of marriage in a Christian home. Okay. And for that to happen, you really need to know how to connect with men. So when you come in contact with men, as you will using our process, as you're meeting men, having conversations with them, the main focus of the program is showing you how to build connections, how to be able to discern, how to be able to direct conversations through the dating process, so that you are moving forward. So you stop your endless talking stages. You stop getting distracted. You stop being confused. You stop getting ghosted. This is what my dating curriculum solves. And how it works is I walk you through the different stages of dating. So it doesn't matter if, like I've said, it doesn't matter if you've come through a divorce, or you went through a broken engagement, or you are not sure particularly how to talk to men, or you've just never been in a relationship, or you've always entertained situationships. It doesn't matter what part of that cycle you are in. The curriculum deals with you where you are. So I've outlined this curriculum to make sure that regardless of your own specific situation, you know exactly how to start and how to use my Wife in Waiting process to start connecting with men in a sustainable way. Literally, on our last Wife in Waiting coaching call, and the coaching call is where I coach you with our other clients on understanding changes in your dating habits that need to happen by walking you through how you are connecting and having conversations with men. Like I said, we don't have a problem with our clients meeting men. That isn't the focus. It is a very simple problem to fix. Our main focus is making sure that you're able to build connections with men. You're able to change your dating habits in a way that allows you to be available to the right quality of man. Our main focus is making sure that you know how to discern as you date, so that you are dating in a way that allows you to align with the quality and caliber of man you want, that is eligible, single, and masculine, and is available to provide and pursue. So how we handle this is with our curriculum. So the Wife in Waiting dating curriculum, basically, in a nutshell, it breaks down the different stages of dating I walk you through exactly what you need to be doing at each stage. It's a self-paced curriculum, meaning as soon as you enter the program, you have immediate access to this curriculum. In fact, when clients initially join, they feel like they have a lot to go through with the curriculum. But we even have a calendar, which is our recommended process for how you should address the curriculum, because we want to make sure you're taking it one step at a time. This is a transformative program. I'm not trying to manufacture, results. We're trying to get you actual sustainable, real results. So this means that we need to change the way you date. This means we need to change the way you build connections with men. This means we need to change the way you have habits around how you connect with men, how you have conversations, how you decide to commit to them. We need to work on that. And that is what the dating curriculum does. It comes with tasks. These tasks accompany each step of the curriculum because I want to make sure you are practical around our process. I do not deal with theory. No client of mine is going through a theoretical process. I like to deal with things in practice. So this means you're coming into contact with men regularly. We are working with your actual connections with men. Literally on our last coaching call, I was coaching my clients on actual conversations they are currently having with men, being able to analyze how they're reading men's responses, how they're making themselves available to men. This is from their current experiences of meeting men through the wife in waiting process. So this, it's not a theoretical program. It is very practical. You're meeting men and we're using that data to be able to help you to clean up the way you date so that you are coming into contact with more quality men by learning to date in a quality way. The reason why you're struggling to meet men of the same values is you don't know how to date in a quality way. Yes, you're a quality woman. Yes, you're a woman of substance. Yes, you have all these amazing values, but it is not translating in the dating scene. It is not translating to attract the quality of man that you want. It is not translating to make you available for the kind and caliber of connection you want to build with the men that are in alignment to provide you with the kind of relationship you desire. This is why through the curriculum, we clean up your habits. And I coach you inside Wife in Waiting to make sure that your habit, your thought process shifts, okay? So how this looks like is our coaching calls are recorded. So because we have clients, we have sisters, as we call ourselves, all over the world. So we like to make sure our calls are recorded. So you have access to calls. Even if you can't attend live, you are able to listen back to calls. We have a dedicated community space where you can drop your questions and I respond within the next few hours just to make sure that you're fully supported through our process. We have clients that don't show up on our calls live, but are seeing results through our process because you don't need to attend live calls to see results with the Wife in Waiting program. You can listen to the recordings, you can ask questions, you can ask me coaching questions in the community. You have full access to the curriculum. So you can always go through the process at your own pace. This program was curated in a way whereby even if you're very busy with your studies or you have a demanding career, it doesn't matter, Wife in Waiting still works. It doesn't matter if you barely have any time to yourself, you barely have any time to be social, you barely have any time to connect and meet men. Wife in Waiting still works because the way I designed this curriculum is to meet you where you are so that you can make adjustments in your schedule without feeling uncomfortable, without feeling like you're being pushed in a completely unusual direction. I make adjustments simply by showing you how to date with in favor of who you are as a person, in favor of your current stage in life, in favor of your current stage in your dating process. So this curriculum is carefully built that way. And this is why all our coaching calls are recorded. So you have full access to that. If you have any questions for me in the community, you just drop your question. Within a couple of hours, you have an answer to that question. Within a day, you have an answer to that question. I have clients that have not attended live calls that are in relationships, that are meeting men, that are going on dates because they are going through the process at their own pace. I just wanted to outline that because I want you to understand that you can use this program even if you have a very demanding schedule and you barely have any time to yourself. This is why it's a 12-month process. So I carefully thought about how long I wanted Wife in Waiting to be, and I decided I wanted it to be a 12-month process because I want to walk with you through the transformation. I remember a client, she's in the program now, but before she joined, when we were on a call, and you can apply for Wife in Waiting by clicking the link in my bio. If you're watching this live, just click the pinned link. So she applied and we got on a call together, and she was a bit worried about the length of time. She was like, why is it going to take 12 months? I want a transformation sooner than 12 months. And I explained to her that actually you're going through a process. The results will come early. The remainder of that time is to teach you how to sustain those results. And by results, I mean meeting men, going on dates, being able to decide the quality and caliber of man you want to connect with and you want to commit to. Actually having viable options of men instead of trying to settle, trying to convince yourself to like men that we both know you're not attracted to. Actually having viable candidates that you are interested in, that you genuinely see yourself potentially committing to, that you're excited to talk to, that you're excited to go on dates with. This will happen early on in the wife in waiting process, and we spend the remainder of that time when you use our curriculum and our coaching and you show up in our community. Spend the remainder of that time building on that result, which is showing you how to actually have conversations with men, dealing with the mistakes you're going to make as you start dating, the issues you're going to have as you start meeting these quality men, how you analyze what does it mean when he says he's not going to call me? What does it mean when he says he's unavailable? How do I know it's time to go on a date? What if he wants to get off the app and I'm not ready? What if he wants us to see but he's not willing to come to where I am? These are actual questions that you cannot think of outside the process of actually having the experience. And these are just examples of some of the questions that our new clients have in the program, because they're starting to meet men and they're starting to realize that, okay, actually this is unusual for me. So I have a ton of questions I didn't have before because I'm not even used to this experience. And I really need to understand this. That isn't going to happen in a month. This is why it's a 12-month process. That's not going to happen in 2 months. You need to get used to the process of actually going on dates, really understanding the way men think, analyzing the way you think about men, the way you come to decisions in your own mind, the way you make unconscious decisions to commit, how you come to conclusions to find yourself emotionally attached. We need to clean all of that out. We need to filter out that process so that you are available for the quality of relationships you desire. And this is why it's a 12-month program. Because, like I said, I'm not trying to manufacture results here. I want to make sure that the results you get are sustainable. And that client that I just shared with you, she currently is in a process of choosing who she wants to commit to, choosing who she wants to enter a relationship with viable, well, I don't want to say candidates, but that's what they are, because they're auditioning for the role of being her partner, with viable candidates. And, you know, I'm so proud of her, because when we started and she showed up, she did the work. She didn't have to show up live on calls. All she had to do, she was constantly asking me questions in the community. She went through our curriculum, and she was very determined to make sure that she was applying my strategies, so to speak. And she started seeing results. I'm so proud of her. And this is one of my joys of the process, just watching the transformation. I was on a call with a client. Oh, it was yesterday. Yeah. I was on a call with a client yesterday. It was yesterday. And she, you know, she's doing amazing. We just started working together a couple of weeks now. And she's already seeing that she's out of her situationship. She's over that part of that habit that she had built in dating that had gotten her disappointing results. She's now in a phase where she's learning what it looks like for her to be treated the way she desires, what it looks like to actually be desired by a man for the right reasons, what it feels like to have standards, what it feels like to have boundaries. Within a couple of sessions, we cleaned this up for her. When I say we, I mean I don't know why I'm talking about myself like we, but I cleaned this up for her. I helped her to be able to date in a way that was clean and clear, and we have just started her process. This process for her has just started. Now, why am I sharing this with you? Because I want you to understand you don't have to stay where you are. You are staying here by choice. I want you to get that. It's not your situation, your circumstance didn't happen to you. You can't say, oh, you know, it's because I'm still not over my ex. It's because well, there's some other reasons. It's because, give me your excuses. Just drop it in the chat. Give me any excuses that you usually have. It's because it's just not the right time for me yet. The Lord is telling me to wait. It's because I think I just need more time to figure out myself. Maybe I need a break from dating. Those are excuses, by the way. Very big excuses that are keeping you stuck and stranded in that same position. These clients I just shared with you, one was in a situationship for years. We cleaned that up within a couple of weeks. She was out of it. She just made a decision that she wanted to date differently. That was the one decision that changed it, and we started working together, and it's gone, it's dead, it's gone. But she was there for years. You know, the other client, she was in a situationship cycle with a guy that didn't want to commit to her, and she was just very confused by the whole thing. Now she's in a position where men are pursuing her and their quality and caliber of men that she wants. Completely different scenario, completely, but the same person. It's just she's dating differently. So, someone says it's because I don't know how to do makeup. Not an explanation. That's another excuse. Another excuse. In fact, our last wife in waiting coaching call focused on feminine flirtation techniques. So I walk my clients through the process of how to optimize their feminine, more than feminine energy, your feminine habits to attract men in a quality way. So that was part of the focus of our last coaching call. And it's nothing to do with makeups. You don't need makeup to attract men. Let me tell you for a fact, you definitely do not. You could be walking down the street, meet a guy. In the gym working out, meet guys. In a grocery store, completely no makeup in sight, meet men. All those scenarios I painted have happened, by the way. With no makeup. You don't need it to attract. You don't need it to attract quality men. You definitely do, however, need to start dating differently. And this is what we outline for you in the Wife in Waiting curriculum. This is why it's a self-paced curriculum, and this is why I give you the 12-month runway so that you have the time to be able to move at a pace that is suitable to your position. And this is what will get you the results. To start attracting men in a quality way and start going on the dates and start being available for high quality connections that will lead you into the right marriage for you. Now, I want to talk about another reason why you're just not matching men with men that have your values and how we solve this in Wife in Waiting. It's just your standards are out of place. Your standards and boundaries are a mess. You know this, right? You just don't know how to fix it. But we help you fix this inside the Wife in Waiting program. So I outline for you how to build your list, your dream list. You know that list of qualities that you desire in a guy. You would love your husband to have them. You would love your partner to have them. I help you build that list in a practical, simple way inside the Wife in Waiting program. It's one of the templates I make available to my clients so that you know what your standards should look like practically as you're meeting these men using our process to come in contact with men online and offline. As you're meeting these men, you know how to build your standards. So this is what I mean by I'm a fan of making things as practical as possible. So I give you the strategy and you apply it as you're dating, as you're talking to men. And this is how I show up for you in the coaching to make sure that you're dating in a way that is in alignment with the quality and caliber of relationship that you desire. Okay, so you need to clean up your standards. Your boundaries are also a mess. Some of you don't even have any boundaries to speak of. So what this means is men just walk all over you, take advantage of you. You're always available. It's easy for you to get distracted. You get easily emotionally attached. You're insecure about your level of attractiveness. You constantly question if a guy is genuinely interested in you. It's a boundary problem. Standards are just your general filter. That means that if a guy doesn't have that general filter, he can't even be considered. Boundaries are what guard the gate, so to speak, for exclusivity. And inside Wife in Waiting, we break down for you through my curriculum and in my coaching. We break down for you exactly how to set up your standards and boundaries. And what's so interesting is when clients start meeting men and start having conversations with men, they start seeing maybe boundaries that they missed or standards that they don't have, that they thought they did. They fully thought, definitely I won't be interested in this guy if he's not, let me think of an example. If he is not an intellectual, or if he doesn't go to church as often as I would like. And then up comes the guy. And by the way, those examples I gave are not standards. I'm just telling you from the perspective of how you're thinking. Those are definitely not standards. That's the first mistake. You're assuming that there are standards. You have standards that they don't even qualify as standards. It's like trying to call water tea. It will never be tea. It's just water. But you're calling a bottle of water tea. No matter how many times you call it tea, it is always going to be just water. And this is the mistake you're making with standards. You're calling something a standard that it's not a standard. Which is why can you imagine trying to use tea to take a shower? It's going to give you some sort of skin reaction. Or trying to use tea to brush your mouth. It's going to give you foul mouth odor, because that's not what tea is meant for. This is why you're struggling today, because you're calling standards things that are not. And you're struggling to understand why it's not working. It's because it's not a standard. So how we clean this up inside the program is I help you build what your list should look like. And I help you clarify what standards actually are, what boundaries actually are through the Wife in Waiting curriculum. So once you join the program, what happens is you get access to our community where, you can immediately drop any questions you have. I answer within a day. You also get access to our curriculum. So that means as soon as you join, you can immediately open the curriculum and start going through the stages of what dating should look like. Start doing the tasks, ask me questions in the community, show up for coaching. You have access to our coaching schedule as well. When you become a client, when you become a Wife in Waiting sister, show up to coaching live, drop your questions if you're not able to show up live. You also are able to listen to past calls. Every single call is recorded for your benefit. Some clients even like to go back and listen to past recordings where they individually were coached. Some clients don't even need to be coached directly. No, you don't need, and let me clarify this, you don't need direct coaching to be able to get results. It's kind of like if you're in a classroom. I don't need to be asking all the questions to get the answers I need. Maybe the student beside me asks a question that I didn't even know to think of. And it gives me a different perspective on an answer I previously had. That's the power of group coaching. So, and I also want to clarify, just because you're in a group doesn't mean you don't get individual attention. So if you need assistance through, if you show up on the call live and you want me to deal with a particular issue you're having in dating, there are multiple opportunities for you to be able to ask me questions inside the live call, or if not, privately in the chat or in the community. Our clients take advantage of all of these things. So you are always getting coaching. You're always fully supported. You're always in a position whereby you have answers as long as you ask your questions inside Wife in Waiting. Now, I also want to talk about your dating habits, because we're talking about coaching. Part of the reason you're not matching men that meet your values is you're just not creating the habits that make that an opportunity for you to have. Right? So it's like if I say, I want to get fit, I want to start taking care of my body, but my habit is to be eating chocolate all day. My habit is to be eating pastries. I don't go near vegetables. I don't go near water. I don't work out. I don't take care of my body. It's just not going to happen, is it? It's just not going to happen, because the habits are not aligning with the outcome I desire, which is why you want to build habits that align with your outcomes. So what we do through the Wife in Waiting coaching aspect is I help you work on your habits. So for instance, on our calls, I've had clients ask me a variety of questions, from how do I get out of this situation? The guy is pressuring me, or I'm not sure what he's thinking, to how do I make myself more available offline to come into contact with men that I actually find attractive? How do I approach men? All sorts of, every sort of question. This is where we deal with habits, okay? Because whatever the answer is, I guarantee you your habit is a foundational part of getting that result. So in coaching, I help you look at the way you're thinking. I look at that individual situation you've presented. We workshop it together, because I'm not just interested in giving you the answer. I'm interested in you knowing how to find the answer for yourself. So my clients are used to me. I don't just give you the answer. I'm not just like, he's not interested. No, I'm interested in how you're thinking, so that you are clear on what it looks like when he's actually not interested, so that we're not dealing with these mistakes again and again. And this is what the coaching process looks like with me inside Wife in Waiting. I'm asking you questions to really figure out, how did you get to that point? Okay, why do you think he's not interested? What does he look like when he's not interested? What has he shown you? How are you feeling? And so on and so forth. So we dissect that inside coaching. And this is all recorded. So you can listen to it again. You can ask me follow-up questions, because I want to make sure you're not going around the same mountain you've been going around for months and months and months, and in some cases years. And this is the value of coaching, so that you're able to change your habits and you start being available to the quality and value of man you desire. Now, I also want to talk about, let me know if this is helpful to you. Just drop hearts. Drop hearts. Let me know where you're watching from. I'll end this live shortly as well. But I just really wanted you guys to understand how the process works for you to get results, not only inside Wife in Waiting, but also individually. But this is how I do it. This is what has helped my clients to connect with men, to come in contact with men. Coming in contact with men is not a problem. If you have that problem, you do not have a problem. What you have is a result of steps you've taken, because this is very quick to solve and very simple. And this is, and like I said earlier, what we do inside for all my clients: set up their profile online with recommended apps that I have made sure are in the right category to provide quality connections. Show them, we literally have a template for clients to know exactly how to set up their apps, the apps I recommend, how to be able to make sure they get the best outcomes. Look at how your offline routine looks like, how we can optimize that. Both are provided for Wife in Waiting clients, and this is how they're able to meet men online and offline. And the value of learning from other people inside the program is that you are in a position where you don't have to make those same mistakes. You don't have to make the same mistakes Tina did. You don't have to make the same mistake Kate did. You don't have to be in that position. You get to learn from her experience. You get to listen to be able to understand, oh, this is what I need to do differently. This is how I need to approach this differently. I remember in our last coaching call, I was coaching one of our clients. I love when, I love just seeing the bell ring, so to speak. Like, they get revelation, like, oh, that oh means that guy, whoever they are talking to, is going to be getting a very different version once that client gets off the call. And, you know, another client was saying, I'm just finding this so helpful. And, you know, multiple other clients were saying, I'm finding this so helpful. This feels like I'm getting so much information. They didn't ask the question, but they also got answers. So that's the value of being in a group coaching container. And that's why I created the Wife in Waiting program this way, because I really want to make sure that you are fully surrounded, not only from a point of knowledge and practicality, but also from the perspective of accountability. Just by being in a community, you see a shift. I've seen this happen with clients. I can tell you so many that have gone through the Wife in Waiting process. Just by being in contact with the process, they have seen results, because there's a ripple effect that shows up in other areas of your life when you make a slight change to one. It's like if I spray a corner of the room, it's going to spread to the rest of the room, okay? You can't keep fragrance. You can't what's the word? You can't keep fragrance isolated. It spreads. So that is the value of just being in that room, just being exposed to that fragrance. It's going to inevitably affect and change the way you date. And this is what we do inside Wife in Waiting. So if you're interested in joining the Wife in Waiting program, make sure you click the link in bio to apply to work with me. You can either join on a monthly subscription, it's $300 a month to join, or you can join with the year for the full year payment, which will also come with complimentary one-on-one calls with me. If you have any questions about Wife in Waiting, feel free to send me a DM. I'll be glad to answer your questions. You can click the link in bio to join. And if you join before the end of this week, you get access to my dating checklist. This is a checklist that I specifically created to help you know that problem that you've been having for months, that you're unclear why it's happening. This checklist solves it in 2 minutes. It's very simple. I just created a checklist, literally a checklist. Whatever you tick shows you the next step. I just simplified the whole process for you so that in 2 minutes, we know exactly what you need to do, and we know where you need to start in our curriculum and where you need to pay attention to when it comes to our community and coaching. Now, like I said, final thing I'll say is there are only 3 issues here. It's either you're struggling to come into contact with men, which we quickly fixed inside Wife in Waiting. You're struggling to connect with men sustainably and substantially, which we coach you through. We help you change your habits. We help you change the way you attract men by simply changing how you date. It's It's amazing how many results I've just seen from that. And you have issues with commitment, which is simply a question of, usually what I see in this, I'll give you an example. It could go the other way, but I'll give you this example. You're committing too early, you're committing too soon, you're saying too much, you're doing too much, you're not properly qualifying the men you're committing to. That's usually the problem. Or it could be you waited too long. That's the flip end of it. You had too many expectations. I've seen both with clients, and we clean that up to be able to make them available to enter healthy relationships that are sustainable for them. So if you're ready to work with me inside Wife in Waiting, it's really simple. Click the link in my bio to join, or if you're watching this live, which I'm about to end, just click the pinned link. Any questions about the program, feel free to DM me. We are only open for the next few weeks. We will be closing within the next few weeks. So if you're interested in becoming a client of mine and you want to go through this process, just make sure you apply sooner rather than later. I'll review your application and get back to you within the day to let you know the best next steps to take. I'll talk to you guys soon. Take care. Bye.